So today I'm going to show you how to change a tube set on our PM200 pump. And basically all we really need is a small Phillips head screwdriver. And I use a little scratch awl, but you could also use a smaller flat-bladed screwdriver. And I'll show you how that's done here in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the two screws from the front of the PM200 pump. And then we're just going to gently pull the pump head off the shaft, and you'll notice there's two little O-ring spacers in the back. Just set them aside for now. And there's the mounting plate of the PM200. And this is probably one of the most critical parts, is just gently taking the back plate off, being careful not to break any of the small nipples you can see on the pump head. And once you do that, you can just set that aside, pull the little tube retainer out, and then from there, the roller assembly will just pop right out, including the tube set. So you're basically going to grab the new tube set here and wrap it around the roller with the keyed shaft hole up. And I like to grab mine just like this in my fingers, and then set it right back inside the cavity until you hear that roller assembly snapped on into the receiver section. Replace the tubing retainer, and then at this point we're just going to snap the back plate back on. You want to just make sure you have it the right way, because you could put it either way, but there's little chamfers here around the holes, and you want them little chamfers, countersinks, to be facing up. And this is probably the most tricky part, is you want to get it kind of lined up and then press it down while holding the roller assembly into place. And then while applying gentle pressure to the roller assembly, here's where I'm going to use my little scratch awl, and I'm just going to gently pry the roller assembly until it lines up with the back plate, and the back plate snaps into place. And you can see there it snapped on into place real nice. And at that point, it should stay together. And then you're just going to slide the screws in, slide the O-rings on the back of the screws, and then we need to line up the keyway on the shaft. And if you're not quite where the shaft needs to be, you're just going to gently spin it until the screws line up, and then carefully, keeping an eye on the O-rings, get the screws started. That way the O-rings aren't going to go anywhere. And then once the screws are started, you could push the pump head down, snug up the screws. And this next step is not really required, but it's a step that I got into the habit of doing. And I would just snug the screws up a little bit, and then I would apply my voltage so I can make sure that everything is functioning properly. So now you can see things spinning. And then I like to just give these little ends here a little snug to make sure the tube set's not bunched up at all. Snug my screws up nice and tight. And I'm always curious to see what the current draw is on a PM200. It's usually around 3/4 of an amp or slightly lower in this actually non-loaded state. Thank you very much. This is Scott from Simply Pumps. You can see how easy it is to change a tube set on our new PM200 pump. Thank you. Hi, I'm Scott from simplypumps.com. Thanks for watching.